You really stuck out in my reflective supervision workshop because your ability to be able to bring forward your personal feelings about certain situations or what's coming up for you as a woman, that gravitated me towards wanting that supervisory role with you. I wanted to have a relationship with a mentee that was quite different, that was human, that was connected, that was vulnerable and transparent.
When you initially called me, I think it took a while for me to actually believe that like I was being offered an opportunity to work at a private practice. I was even questioning like, oh my God, like why is she calling me? And
she's selling me Tupperware?
Yeah, like what is going on? One of the challenges was just accepting that I'm scared at times in the practice, you know, the work and like the doubt and just always feeling like don't show that you're afraid. Don't show that you don't know what you're doing. Don't show that you have questions, right? Being vulnerable. Like knowing that when you're vulnerable, when you open up, when you actually are aware of like what fears do you have? What makes you feel anxious? Like,
right.
I think that is when you grow.
Something about you, I think it's being a woman of color and also understanding the sacrifices, what we're faced. Vulnerability for us was quick. It was quick.
You making me feel comfortable to also just say like, hey, I don't know what I'm doing, and just you also being honest and saying, well, I don't either, so let me get back to you.
For me, it took a lot of time. It took energy and time to be vulnerable, be transparent, and be human. And that was a challenge for me in the very beginning stages, but Angie, you made it so easy.
I think it's been just very empowering. And it gives me almost like, it helps me trust myself that I can do it.
You've lifted me up in more ways. And therefore, tissue.
It allowed me to have this space, that platform of
you're doing me a favor by sitting here, by saying, look, you trust me and you lift me up, and that is really powerful. I wouldn't be here if you didn't come in and was like, I'm gonna take a risk. And look at us.
Yeah, and I think just hearing you say that, obviously I'm getting emotional myself. But just because I know how long it took you to make the decision.
A year.
And I know how you could be too. Like, you know, you really think things through, and you really make sure like what's the cause, what's the benefit of every decision. And just to know that I was that person that you took that leap with, it's big. So I'm glad to know that I lift you up. You have no idea how much you've helped me. So
I feel that I made a difference. Like the difference in connecting with you, how I connect with the staff, I feel empowered and I feel deserving to be here. And that in itself, as a woman of color, to have that power motivate me, so you can sit at the table, so your associates, your mentees can sit on the table, all the sacrifice for the past 3.5, 4 years, it makes me feel empowered and stronger.
When you mentioned, I want my practice to consist of women of color, I think in the mental health field, you see a lot of like white women, and I think that as a woman of color, you struggle feeling like you belong in the mental health field, and especially in the private practice like world. So I think that just I was able to identify with you, and that's also something that made me feel comfortable, because I think it would have been very different if maybe you were a white woman.
What motivated me to be able to get to this place of where we're at, team of 5 of us, women of color, killing it, is sitting in a room full of people, professionals, and I didn't have anyone else in the room that looked like me. So I think my culture, where I come from, where money was a problem, where I didn't potentially think that we could have this for our team, I wanted something different. I wanted a journey for all of us, and I wanted to open the doors for us. How my culture plays into this is the kabayan, the community. And as a team, we are a community. We resemble and we look like our clients.
Growing up, first generation college student, my parents not knowing like absolutely nothing about college or like how to pay for tuition, that wasn't even an option, right? So sometimes I think like a higher education is something that didn't seem attainable at a point. But I think that through that, I learned a lot of like perseverance and just kind of pushing through all the obstacles that I faced being a Latina woman and just knowing that I can do it.
Our culture, what we look like, really does matter when it comes to mental health. My number one priority for our group practice is to lift every single woman of color, to say, she did it. I can do it. That's my priority. You have a seat. Your words matter, your opinion matters. And that's my priority, is to have a company, a practice where we can do that for other women. And it's us lifting each other up during those times. It's us connecting and being human. It's us showing up for each other and letting the other person shine. In that way, I let all of you shine by saying, hey, we're doing this for you.
Yeah.
So that's how I lift you up.
Yeah.